Hello and welcome to episode 2 of How to Win the Dating Game. I'm Trudy Gilbert, also known as Australia's Millionaire Matchmaker, founder of Elite Introductions International and author of 49 Secrets of an Elite Matchmaker. We're here today to discuss the treacherously wonderful world of dating and relationships, where we'll explore everything from preparing your mindset to identifying and wooing an ideal partner, right through to how to cultivate and nurture an incredible relationship. In the spirit of preparing you for dating, this episode is about getting into a mindset of success on your dating journey. There will be numerous episodes about this very topic, but today we're going to talk about shifting into a dating mindset before your date. It's called How to Get Out of the Work Zone and Into the Dating Zone. It reminds me of the song, Highway to the Danger Zone. Sorry, okay, I sometimes do that. It's my, little quirky thing. Okay, so let's jump right in. I'm here today with Andy. Say hi, Andy.
Hi, everyone.
Who is part of the Elite team and is also my wonderful partner.
Yay.
So team Elite and Team Trudy.
That's right.
Are represented here. You'll meet the other members of the team, Lisa and Jody, in upcoming episodes, and they are also awesome. Okay, so parts of the advice that you'll hear in this series may sound obvious to many of you, but you would be amazed at how many people, often very intelligent and advanced people, who make these mistakes over and over. So I want to make sure that you don't. Okay, let's get started. Tip number 1. Make the time for your date. Don't squeeze in a quick coffee or a lunch date. Oh, how many times have I told people not to do this?
So what is it? I mean, people can be quite busy. What is it about the lunch date that really, rubs you up the wrong way?
Well, okay, the coffee, let's start with the coffee thing. A coffee date is what you do with work colleagues. It's what you do with friends, your girlfriends, after your spin class and you're still in your active gear. Oh, let's go and have a coffee. It's not romantic. And the lunch date, okay, it's again what you do with friends. It's a limited time frame that you're putting around the date. It's telling the other person, look, I'm only giving you 40 minutes of my time. I'm only giving you an hour.
I can squeeze you in.
I can squeeze you in this tiny little window of my life. And it also says to the person, or it makes them question, well, does this person have actual room for a relationship? Are they going to be able to make the time for me? But apart from that, it says low commitment, low investment to the process. So, I just don't like it. I don't think coffee is sexy. I think you're immediately putting your date into a friend zone. Don't you want the date to be a bit romantic and go and have a drink, get dressed up, look sexy?
It probably comes from the numbers game too, from dating apps and stuff. So, they're going through so many people that they think, well, it's just too much commitment to make to any one person because I've got, 9 other dates this week. So they're like, I'll just squeeze this person in on a 20-minute coffee and see if it's worth going to the next stage. So it's all about, it's badly influenced, I think, by this disposable dating app culture that you keep talking about. Yeah,
look, I agree. People are over it and they don't want to invest time with people that they're not certain of. So they want to go with the briefest possible catch up, which is a coffee. But I would challenge that and say, just change it to a drink. A drink can also be an hour. But it gives you the opportunity that if you are connecting, you can extend that time and you can order another drink. You can order some food. You can keep going if there's a chemistry, if you're enjoying each other's company. What do you do at the end of a 40-minute coffee? Order another one? I mean, it's not a very...
Or go back to work is what's actually happening.
Yeah, or go back to work or whatever. It doesn't set it up for success, for allowing things to continue if you're going well. And you need alcohol on a first date. You're going to be nervous. Have a drink. Not an espresso shot. It'll make you more nervous and jittery.
We're not promoting alcoholism, but if you're safe, if you're a healthy user of alcohol, then it can definitely help just to lower the barriers and give you a bit of Dutch courage.
That's right. All right, tip number 2. Ideally, book your date for the evening. Don't double book yourself. Don't
you mean for the whole evening?
Yeah, don't say I'll meet you from 7 and then at 9 you've got to go and do something else. Mm-hmm. You know?
I've seen a lot of advice like that. I'll just make sure you've got something to do afterwards. It lowers the pressure of the situation, but you're just kind of telling them that you're just kind of squeezing it in.
Yeah, it's like, I'm too busy. It's game playing. You're not being genuine. You want to show your date that you respect their time, that, leave the opportunity for things to blossom if it is. If that vibe is there, then you're giving it time to develop so that you can be in the moment and enjoy it. Knowing that you've got another appointment at a certain time will create a bit of pressure in the situation, because you're at the back of your mind going, oh, how much longer do I have I got to leave soon? I better check the time, and that makes the other person feel a bit anxious. Just don't do it. There's no need.
When I saw this bullet point in your notes, I thought you were talking about for the evening versus the daytime. Are you talking about that as well, like when you say this?
Look, that's a good point, because you could see it that way. Look, I don't mind a lunch date as long as it's by the water,
On a Saturday.
On a Saturday or a Sunday, you can settle in for the afternoon.
Our first date was at the beach.
You mean our second first date?
Our first date after
many years.
Yeah, when we reunited, that first date, that was down at Coogee, and it was about 5:00 on a Friday. And
it was great.
At the pavilion, and it was a couple of drinks, but there's a DJ there. I mean,
there's
daytime,
a vibe.
It's almost like a night vibe there.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. But there's nothing wrong with a day date, but just let there be a couple of hours or more for it to continue.
Some people like activity dates as well, so
you
might need it to be daytime.
During lockdown you don't have much choice, do you?
That's right. You go although it's a bit cold right now, but you go kayaking or something like that. I think that's a nice date. Go for it, jump in a kayak, do something adventurous, but then plan something afterwards. Like do that. If everything's going well, then go to like the bar afterwards and have a drink. Or
I love that, and be as creative as you want. I don't know if you remember, but I had one of my funny stories about a couple who had their first date. They went out, they had a 27-hour first date.
That's right. You telling me about this?
They went and had a meal, I think at Woolloomooloo, so like at one of those lovely restaurants on the wharf. Found out they had so much in common, jumped in the car, drove down to Thredbo and went skiing for the day, and then drove back.
27 hours.
Yeah.
Well, for the people that aren't from Sydney, Thredbo's a 5.5 hour drive. So there's 10 hours of that was in the car.
Yeah.
So they would have gotten down to the nitty gritty there for sure. Right?
Yeah.
On the highway talking, and would have definitely found out a lot about each other in that time.
Good on them for being, impulsive like that and having fun.
Yeah, that's true. It's about being impulsive and just reacting to the moment, going with the moment, and having the freedom to do that. It's very impressive. Yeah. If you just go,
absolutely,
you want to come? Yeah, let's go.
Absolutely, it's hot. It's sexy. And imagine if either of them said, "Oh no, I'm meeting a friend afterwards." That opportunity would have been missed.
I've got work on. I've got a presentation on Tuesday, and I really need to go home and practice. And be like, oh god.
Next. Okay. Now what have we got? We've got the next tip is best case scenario is to create a physical and time space between work and date. Okay. You want to be able to shake off that work energy. Now, this is really important.
So you mean like actually go do something physical, like go to the gym or
yes,
go for a run or something like
that's
that?
exactly what I mean. For men, that 100% go, or women, anyone, go and do an exercise class. Could be yoga, could be a run, whatever it is that shifts you from that work space into a different space to help you be a bit more relaxed, there is some real, some very hard, scientific evidence that advises you to exercise before a date, because it makes you feel more comfortable and less anxious on a date. Do you feel that's good advice for men?
Yeah, I think it's good advice, but also on top of that, and it goes with some of the science that I've looked at, that you go train, you feel more masculine. You do, because you feel strong. If you do weights and stuff like that, you get a little testosterone boost. You feel stronger, and it's part of that role play, that man-woman role play that you want to explore in that date scenario. So for a lot of reasons, I think it's good.
Yeah, I get that. The other thing I want to say about this is that women, you need to get out of your masculine energy that you've probably been in during the day at work. You've been making decisions, you've been, in meetings back to back, you've been leading people, managing staff, doing all that kind of, all those chores that really heighten your masculine energy. Mm-hmm. And what you want to do is shake it off and tap into your feminine energy, because you don't want to turn up on your date and start, being the man, asking all the questions, leading the date, making all the decisions. You want to not do. You really don't want to do that. So
it's about role play, isn't it? It's a game, and we really need to play the masculine, feminine roles out, and tapping into that evolutionary part of the process. It makes it more fun and playful, and I think that's a huge part of where chemistry comes from.
I totally agree. Look, babe, that I'm a big believer in traditional gender roles. I really think that they work, because it's evolution that's printed into us. It's
particularly in the early stages of dating. You want to be able to establish chemistry, and chemistry comes from those roles.
It does. Women find it sexy and attractive when a man is masculine and he takes charge and he makes the decisions, or he takes the lead, or he plans the date. All of that is really purposeful in dating, because it makes her feel that he is making an effort, and that's respectful, and that makes her go, oh, he's thoughtful, he's lovely, he's charming, he's it increases his stock in her eyes. So it's 100% important.
Look at the dream guys in women's eyes. It's like George Clooney, and
Daniel Craig,
that's
Bond.
right, that Bond thing, or Christian from 50 Shades. They're powerful.
Yeah.
They make decisions. They're leaders. They've got it all going on. They're in control. All those things. They're very masculine traits. So it's hard to deny, no matter how much of a modern woman or a modern man you are. It's hard to deny that we respond to these role plays.
That's right. So women, you want to get out of your as I said, masculine energy and tap into your feminine energy, and there are a number of ways that you can do that. So let's quickly touch on some of those. It could be having a bath, it could be putting on your favorite music, and having a glass of wine while you get ready. Again, I'm promoting alcohol now.
But I definitely, obviously, if you're a guy, you're probably not going to go for, the bath and the scented candles, but I definitely love to put on some music, when I'm getting ready, and pumping through the house, and, whether I was doing it before I was dating, but even now when we go out on a date, I love, to have the music going for us to sort of get into the vibe before we go out. We have a lot more fun once we're in the headspace.
Yeah, 100%. It's, especially if we've been working, or recording a podcast, and then it's time to go out. We've got to shift our energy, and the best way to do that is just to do something that breaks it, and go, okay, well now we're doing this activity, so I've got to get my head in the game.
Well, even though we work in different parts of the business, you're still the boss. It's your baby. You're still the boss, and that headspace has.
Don't you love that, women?
But
here I am talking about traditional gender roles.
Yeah, but there are women out there that are spending the day, breaking through the glass ceiling, and you've got to shake it off, because we can't go out in that same headspace. It won't work.
Oh yeah,
and you shift.
I do.
I got to give you a compliment. You shift quite beautifully into, okay, now it's time for me to be, a lady and dress up, and and you loved me to do things like plan the evening and stuff. You go into that role.
I do.
And it's 100 miles from where you were a few hours before when you were running the show.
Yeah. Well, thank you, baby. I do that, and I find that things like a bath or putting on my favorite dress immediately transforms me into my feminine side. My favorite heels, my hair, if it's up or down, whatever the outfit determines. I find that whole presentation process really shifts me. So that's actually one thing I want to mention. I had someone ask me, recently, what should I wear on a first date? It's a typical question. And
was it a man or a woman?
It was a woman. And she said, look, I've sometimes met people for coffee after the gym in my activewear. What do you think of that? And I'm like, well, okay, first of all, the coffee thing, no. Activewear, absolutely not. I'm like, I tell women to wear a dress, to wear something that, highlights their figure, that makes them feel sexy. Let's let the women hear, what you think a woman should wear on a date.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I suppose if you've got assets and you think you look great in a particular, pantsuit or a jumpsuit or jeans or something like that, then I can appreciate why you'd want to do that. But I always prefer to see a woman in a dress, particularly if it's early stages of dating. But even when we go out, I just love that I can't think of a time, maybe 1 in 10 times you might wear jeans, when we go out, and you'll still dress around it. Like, you'll still wear heels or boots, sexy boots and a cute top or something like that. So you'll dress around it. It'll still be feminine. But yeah, I much prefer to see you in a dress. I much prefer the whole role play. It reminds me, for all the Tony Robbins fans out there, I'm a Tony Robbins fan. He always talks about getting into state. And that's a physical thing to do, where you move your body and you create internal belief that you're shifting into something else. And I think dressing up is like a costume, and it's part of that process.
Yeah, I agree. It's like what you said to me, just the other night, that we compared it to watching your favorite football game, and putting on your football jersey or scarf, and
exactly. So when you go to the footy, that's what we call it here. When you go to the footy, we you put on your colours, you put on the scarf, you play the music, you meet your friends down there, there's a tradition, you grab a pie, you have a beer. It's a whole process that's part of the ritual of doing it. It gets you into that headspace. You're screaming at the top of your lungs. It's all part of this process. So if you do it for that, the same way that you prepare for work, you've got to prepare for the date. You can't just expect that it's all going to happen. If you don't bring the energy, there'll be something missing, and people will call it chemistry. That's such a word that gets thrown around so much, but it's usually 100 other things, not some magical, magic dust that's not being dropped on you, but it's about the energy that you brought or the other person brought to the space.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, next one is get warmed up with a friend. Meet a friend at a bar and have a quick drink with them before your date. This is an interesting one. I really like this one.
Yeah, well, it's good because definitely confidence. So safety in numbers. If you have it, you're not saying that you're going to be with them when you meet your date, but just get into that headspace. Again, it's another part of the process, isn't it? You're going there, you're going to have a drink, you have a good laugh, you tell a story, you're getting more confident and more relaxed, and that energy is so important. I think particularly for men, because if you feel confident and relaxed, you take up the space more, and women really notice that.
I agree. And look, I think it's okay. I know that we've said before, look, don't, have two things on, don't double book yourself. I'm meaning like, it's okay if you wanted to meet a friend or a family member or whatever first for a drink and then leave the evening free for your date, because as you say, that's just helping you to shift your energy and get into that social headspace after a full day of work. And yeah, you'll feel a lot more comfortable, relaxed, and that's going to shine through, and your date will feel more comfortable themselves. So I just think that's a bit of a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's a good tip. And if you don't have the opportunity to meet with someone else, doing something like we have our favorite like stand-up comedians and stuff like that. I can watch 5 minutes of something on YouTube, have a good laugh, and it can completely shift my energy. So if you don't feel that you're in the most ideal headspace, do something. It can be really simple, like you said. Play your favorite song and play it. Blare into your ears, or do whatever. Have a dance, whatever it is. You got to make some sort of physical action in order to shift into the right headspace.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. All right, the next one. It's not dress for success, it's dress for sex.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
And it's not the Roxette song either.
No, yes, you know how much I hate Roxette.
I know you're not a fan, but I couldn't resist.
Yeah, and you're not talking about dressing to have sex. You're saying dressing for the gender, for the communication of sexual energy and all that. It's such a huge part of what everybody loves to call chemistry, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's just being sexy. We don't want you to turn up and be wearing nothing. I mean, it's you could wear something from head to toe and look incredibly sexy. It's just about respecting the date, your date, the occasion, and not, please girls, no active wear. Okay. I mean,
I'm amazed, to be honest, that people would do
are
that.
you?
Yeah, but less when I think about we go out into all kinds of places, from like the local pub to fine dining, and we travel a lot, and I'm actually amazed at how little effort the average guy will take getting ready for a date. And I'm just
you often comment on that,
going, I can't, that's what he chose.
I know, like a t-shirt.
He's wearing, some like a daggy hoodie and dirty sneakers, and I'm just like, what are you thinking? Like there's how disrespectful is that to the person that you're with? And often when we go out and we see them on a date, it's not like a new date. Like you can tell that they're a couple, and I'm thinking that's even worse to me in a way, like you can't drop the ball like that. If we go out to Mr. Wong's or something on a Friday evening, all the guys are in suits because they've come straight from the office, but if we go to, I'm amazed that we can be out on the weekend somewhere and we look around and be surprised about how poorly people are dressed.
Yeah. That is a fair call, and I know it, especially if we go to the opera, I know it bugs you that people aren't dressed for the occasion.
Yeah,
that
of course.
They're very
or
underdressed.
The theatre, or absolutely. It does bug me.
Okay, next one. Don't confuse your date with a work style meeting. This is not a job interview or a proposal presentation. Oh,
this one drives you crazy.
Oh, my God.
You slam the phone down at work and you just shake your head. I'm like, somebody's given somebody a job interview instead of a date.
This is like rookie error 101. Please do not turn your date into a job interview. I don't know why, but for some women, and I'm sorry girls, but I am picking on you here, but there are some women that feel they need to get all their questions answered on their checklist. They have to know about his past relationship history, what the situation is with his kids, or if he wants more kids. They want to know all about his work or all about his financial status, and they're not shy to ask. They will go there. They will go to the heavy hitting questions on a first date.
Well, they're confused. They're confused about what this event is for.
Well, that's right.
Because they're already moving into the kind of information that you need when you're deciding to be in a relationship with somebody.
That's right.
And I don't know if it's because of this whole fast turnaround, disposable dating kind of culture, or what. But it just they're asking questions that's not the purpose of the first and second date.
No, you're so right. It's not. It's really not. Those questions come later. The purpose of the first date is that it's just meant to be light and fun, and for you guys to laugh and flirt and be playful, find out things that you have in common.
Do I find her attractive? Does she find me attractive?
Exactly.
Does she make me laugh? Do I make her laugh?
Yes. Yeah. Do I feel good with them? Do I want to see them again? Yeah. When we were younger, when we were like, in our 20s, I would never sit down and ask you a whole list of questions about your life and where you were going and what you've done, and it's just would never happen.
Are you cute and do you make me laugh? That's
yeah,
it, right? And
exactly.
That's enough to start to make an investment and start to explore more.
Yeah, that's enough to then go, okay, well, let's go on date number 2.
Yeah.
So that's what you guys have got to do. You've got to stop this whole checklist thing and just enjoy the moment. Create opportunities for laughter, smile, flirt, be playful. You want them to leave the date going, okay, well, I had a really good time. I enjoyed that person's company, and I want to see them again. That's it. Not, I know everything about their life plan and their date history, and we're going to talk about this a lot in other episodes because it really bugs me, some of the things that people think it's okay to ask on a first date. And I do just want to leave you with one extra tip about that, is that don't be afraid to not answer a question on a date. Don't be afraid to go, look, I don't think we should go there right now. Let's talk about that on date number, or not even date number, whatever. Let's just talk about that another time.
Yeah. So how did you and your ex break up, Trudy?
Yeah.
Like, oh God.
Oh, look, let's not go there, okay? Let's talk about that another time.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just not appropriate. Don't be afraid to pull the reins, and if they go off track, to bring them back on track and say, no, let's just stay in this nice, safe, fun, flirty space for now. Nothing too heavy or serious.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you said we're definitely going to talk about this a lot. It's a huge topic around the office, and Lisa, who's a psychologist, she said, people just get the dating and relationship parts confused and understand that they're completely different processes. And at this time, it's all about, do I like them? Do they like me? And your role should be to walk away and have them go, I'd like to see that person again.
That's right.
That's it. That's the only goal.
That's it.
The goal to kick in that first date.
That's it.
Yeah.
So look, I think that we have absolutely covered this topic. Yeah. I think we've given some really great tips on how to get into the date zone.
Yeah, and move away from any other space. I mean, we've used work for the example for this, like getting out of the work zone, but it could be anything. It could be if you're have heavy commitments with your family, or if you're more mature and you have kids from a previous relationship and you look after them, you still you have to step out of that space to get into the dating space.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We would love to hear any feedback from you if you have any. Again, we would love any suggestions if you have a topic that we'd like to cover that you'd like for us to cover in another upcoming episode. Thank you for joining me today, Andy.
Thank you very much. Don't forget to have a chat with Trudy on trudygilbert.com, and you should tell them about, remind them about the quiz.
The quiz.
Yeah.
Yep. I was just about to do that and you cut me off.
Sorry. Typical.
So yes, go to trudygilbert.com and there is a quiz you can do to find out if you are ready for your dream relationship. It's only a few minutes, and I think it'll give you some insights into the headspace that you should be in, and maybe also shine an area on things that you might need to focus on. Yeah. Exactly. So thank you for listening. We hope that you have enjoyed this episode and you found some value in our tips. And we look forward to being here again next week.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Trudy.
My pleasure. Thanks, baby.
Right, thanks, guys.